Alright. The name is Dale. Doing the new album review for Skyzoo, and it's called All the Brilliant Things. This album review is done on behalf of Audio Liquor Magazine. Under the radar, Skyzoo has been putting together a lengthy catalog of material. I was not aware that he had so much music and so much different projects out before doing this review. And his first album, I believe, dropped in 2006 with Ninth Wonder. It was a joint he did with Ninth Wonder. I have to admit, I never heard the joint before. And he has 5 solo studio albums, and he has about 5 albums he did with a producer or artist. Like, he has one album with this producer called Ill Mind, that's called Live from the Tape Deck. He has another album with this rapper named Torre called Barrel Brothers. He has another album with this other producer called Apollo Brown called The Easy Truth. Then he has another album with the legendary producer himself, Pete Rock, called Retropolitan. And Skyzoo has about 5 EPs, about 13 different mixtapes. So he's been putting in a lot of work since 2006. And the concept of this new album called All the Brilliant Things is based and centered around gentrification of Brooklyn, New York, where he's from. So that's the concept of the album. He's not necessarily married to that concept on each and every song, but in some way, in some form, it all leads back to that one theme. So I'm going to go into some detail with some of the songs, not all the songs. And the first song that starts off the album is called Free Jewelry. Very strong way to start the album. I believe Mad Lib used this same sample for an album he did with the late great Jake Dilla back in the day. I forgot the name of the song, but I really like this song. Nice way to kick off the project. He got another song called St. James Liquors. It's real dope. Mid-tempo jazz feel to it. Nice horns. Good joint. And you got another track called A Tour of My Neighborhood featuring Al Scratch. For those that are aware, yes, the same Al Scratch from Illin' Al Scratch from back in the day. It's a short but strong song, and Al Scratch comes in like towards the end, or you could say the end, saying "Come around my way, come around my way." So if you remember that song back in the day, it'll hit some nostalgia for you. And then you got another track called Bodega Flowers. He has another track called Bodega Flowers featuring BJ, the Chicago kid, who's an R&B singer from Chicago that I dig. I have a few of his albums. He's singing on the hook or chorus, of course. It's a nice chick joint. The young lady starts off the song saying, "I want flowers, but I don't want to tell you that I want flowers. Just because I told you I want flowers, I don't want you to get flowers. I want you to get flowers because you want to give me flowers." I felt that shit funny because I've heard that in the past from chicks that I don't give flowers. I don't do romantic shit like that. So I felt that shit was funny as hell to me. So I like that song. It's a nice girl joint. And you got another track called Something to Believe In featuring Raheem Devon. Another R&B singer. I have some of his albums. I dig him. He's pretty good. He's from my neck of the woods, my part of town, the DMV area. whoever produced this track freaked the hell out this Roy Ayers searching sample that's been used several times, famously used by Brand Nubians, then used by Mary J. Blige, and it's a nice song. I didn't think you can really breathe life into this sample again, but whoever produced it found a way to do such thing and make it fresh, make it sound fresh. You got another track that's called "I Was Supposed to Be Trap." I'm supposed to be a trap rapper. That's the name of the song. That's a funny title for a song. Another case of a sample that has been used a lot of times before, but somehow was freaked in a fresh way, is a Bob James joint. This has been used several times, many times, but they freak it different. I like it. And then on the same track, it drops in with the actual trap beat towards the end. And Skyzoo, he freaks it, he kills it with the flow and his rhymes. So yeah, I really dig that joint. That joint is different. Then you got another track called The Scrimmage. Might be one of my favorite songs on here. There's many good songs on here, but this might be one of my favorites. Then you got another track called Bed-Stuy Is Burning. It's a banger in a soulful, jazzy way. It features, trying to remember, Hypnotic Brass Ensemble. Oh yeah, Hypnotic Brass Ensemble. So I'm guessing they played some of the instruments on the joint. I'm guessing I've never heard them before, but it's a nice song. Nice song. Then you got another track called What Money Taught Us. It's nasty. Love the piano sample. Really dig it. So I think it's like 14 tracks on here total, if I'm not mistaken. I was surprised how much I dig this album. I really dig it. Very impressed with this. His past albums, I've always supported him for the most part. I ain't gonna say always, but for the most part, I've always supported him and got his albums. But his past albums have never lived up to his potential. I think this one is the first album that I heard from him that lives up to his MC ability. I always thought his albums kind of never totally hit the mark. His projects were solid at best. Nothing to go run and tell about in the past. My folks had a good word to describe his past projects, mundane, and I agree with that to a certain extent. Especially his hooks. His hooks in the past could be very mundane, doesn't grab you, a little boring at times. There's no disrespect, but this new album is top notch. Always knew he could rap. That was never an issue with him. It was never a problem with his lyrics. His lyrics on this joint are very insightful. He paints very good pictures of New York City, especially Brooklyn, of course. The production is done by many different folks. A lot of them I didn't know. Most of them I didn't know or I wasn't familiar with, besides I think J.R. Swift. He's one of the producers on this joint. I don't know who did what song, so I wasn't able to break it down in that way. But this is a very strong album, probably one of the best albums of this year so far. I hope I'm not being a prisoner of the moment, but at first, the first time I listened to it, I was like, oh, I was still shocked how good it was. Like, this is a B+ album, but I'm moving it up to an A-. It just gets better the more I listen to it. I think this album is better than J. Cole's album, in my opinion. Now, I had J. Cole maybe a slight favorite for the best album so far this year. You know, maybe Benny the Butcher joint, The Plugs I Know Part 2 was in the running. But yeah, this is a good joint. I highly recommend it. Oh, shameless plug. I have a new album out with my folks Ali and the Ugly Professor, Run the Gamut. It's going to be on all platforms. It probably will be on all platforms by the time this review goes online. So get it. Put a lot of time and thought into it. So there you have it. I'm done. I'm finished, and there you have it.